The Chinese weren't always big fans of a solar eclipse, for phenomena like this is usually seen as a harbinger of impending catastrophe. Although the global economy is forecast to contract by 3% this year, no one here is moonstruck. That's because China is back on track again, its performance clearly eclipsing all others.
Now industry, particularly steel, is going gangbusters again. So it looks like China is recovering pretty much the strongest recovery in the world at the moment. And we're looking for around 8% growth this year.
Politically and financially, China's ability to rebound so robustly sets it apart from the other BRIC group countries, Brazil, Russia and India. The BRIC 4 was actually once expected to reshape the global economy. But in today's extraordinary climate, that seems like wishful thinking in better times. This is the growth expected from China. While in neighbouring India, the economic fundamentals are also strong. But Brazil has stumbled, with no clear growth expected until 2010. And as for Russia, over-reliant on high commodity prices, it now risks the spectre of high inflation and high unemployment. And the BRIC fault lines don't only concern numbers, for its members are fierce competitors and serious mistrust abounds, which is a barrier to enhancing economic cooperation.
Well, the Chinese don't trust the Indians at all. Just Indians don't trust the Chinese. The 1962 border war forever seared the brains of Indian policymakers. Brazilian businessmen complain over the last couple years that China came. Hu Jintao, the leader of China, visited, promised all kinds of money, left, and then everybody said, well, where's the money?
It's one of those strange historical quirks that now, with their economies so interdependent, China can cooperate more easily with America than with its neighbours. As for Russia, it does little to garner confidence. The government appears hostile to capital, while its military posture is aggressive, as if confident that the volatile Great Bear has oil and gas as leverage. But Russia and other oil exporters should be aware that the past year's global turmoil has focused the minds of some huge hydrocarbon consumers like China, which is now taking a great green leap forward up the value chain.
When we were in school, we were told there was only enough oil left for another 50 years. We need to develop new energy. It's also vital for the country's development.
Mr. Tsai knows that China isn't yet giving up on coal and oil, but the state is fed up with being held to ransom when the market soars. So it's pushing the development of huge wind farms, with the goal to generate 15% of the country's energy from renewables within a decade. These also provide orders for a new high-value industry, wind-turbine manufacturers, which in turn are gearing up to compete in the global green marketplace. But it's the auto industry that can push China further ahead of the BRIC pack. That is, the industry of green cars, new energy vehicles, currently receiving over $1 billion in subsidies from a government that wants a smog-free tomorrow. The Chinese government actually needs to drive technological innovation because the auto industry is a key pillar of economic growth and employment, and it wants to keep stimulating demand from the urban middle class. But if China were to end up with 400 million gas guzzlers, the world would choke. So the thinking is, develop the tech and the market now in China ahead of any foreign competition. But China doesn't have the economic mandate of heaven. While command economies can build infrastructure and develop manufacturing industries to order, they're not hot at creating service sectors. And this could hold China back, especially as its population is ageing, unlike its nearest competitor, India.
There are very, very few privately run financial institutions here. And that's something that India does spectacularly well at. There's a lot more innovation in the Indian financial sector because it's privately driven. And even if you go to Brazil, it's a wonderfully developed financial market already, even at this lesser stage of economic development.
Another downside to mainland China is its weak rule of law and a lack of media freedom. That said, an ambitious government stands by its plan to develop Shanghai as an international financial centre on par with London and New York by 2020. And this is a time frame needed to determine the credibility of today's BRIC grouping as a force to reshape the global economy. Beyond the financial crisis, countries early to adapt innovate and cooperate in a world of depleting energy resources should grow in stature, which suggests that some emerging markets could be overshadowed and that the new world order may need a new acronym.